What's up, guys? Craig Mack here, Liberty Bell Beekeeper. So swarm season is still underway, and sometimes it happens that you get a swarm that hits your trap but doesn't decide to go in. So we're going to box this up. I'll show you how we do this, Liberty Bell Beekeeper style. So for me, I want these in a box. I don't want to wait for them to go into my trap. So I'm going to just get a nuke and transfer them to it. Just a 5-frame. If you watch my channel, you'll see that most of my bees are in these 5-frame nukes. So I'm going to essentially just take these bees and get them into this box. I might do this with the assistance of a bucket. Put one frame in just to give them something to fall into and get onto. So I'm going to take my hive tool and we're just going to bloop, bloop, bloop. Just going to knock them in here. And I'm going to add my frames. Most of them are empties. I have a couple of drone frames with some starter strips. A bunch of my frames. Knock them in. Put the lid on the box. And I'm going to leave this box sitting here. And hopefully I got the queen in there. Then we'll get some fanning going at the entrance, which we do. And these bees will just transfer down. It doesn't always work. Sometimes they go back to the swarm spot. But I'm going to take a good look through these bees and make sure my queen is not there. I think she's in the box, but you never know. Sorry, I don't have a great picture. Basically just knocking them down so I can see if the queen is amongst them. I don't see her, but that doesn't mean that she's not there. I'll know in a few minutes. But usually a good indication is fanning at the front door. That'll typically bring the bees to it. And down off of the frame or off of this trap. So sometimes I'll just move this trap and leave this box here. I think that's what I'm going to do actually. I'm going to move the trap. Most of the bees didn't go in, although I'm going to check this trap because I thought I had a swarm come into this yesterday, and it does happen that you get multiple swarms hitting the same trap, and no, that's empty for the most part. So I'm going to just release this trap from the fence. check the back, look for my queen. I don't see her. Shake that free. Move it away. Try to let those bees reorient down here onto the box. So what you might not be able to see, or you might be able to see, if I position my camera properly, is the bee starting to orient to the box. If I get them in the air, usually they're going to come back down to the entrance of that box. Some of them might come back to the fence, but you can probably see a lot of them are orienting to the front of the box. I'll check my ground to make sure that I didn't knock the queen completely down. But that looks pretty good. So yeah, you can see most of the bees are now coming to the bucket underneath or to the box, working their way up and in. I always check clusters. If you see a little cluster on the ground, it's good to check that to make sure your queen is not there, but I was fairly confident that with that first knockdown I got my bees to, or my queen rather, to be in the box. And that's the way it looks. Most of the ones underneath are gathered, and I don't know, they'll work their way towards the front of the box. A lot of fanning at the front. Big day for swarms. I was out all day setting up another bee yard. Came home to this, which I thought yesterday had some activity, some heavy scouting going on at it, which was good. Again, I have some bees coming back to the box, which is not unusual because that had that swarm stank on it. But I feel like they're gonna relocate back to this box here once they get settled in. And I'll just leave them alone. You know, that's a big part of swarm collecting, is just kind of leaving them do their thing. My guess is they might have come from up on my bee deck. And the dogs are happy to see me and happy with the warm weather. Could have come from up there. Could have come from my swarm trap back there. Let's take a look upstairs. So this is how I have to get to my roof. This ladder. Not for the faint of heart. Let's see what's going on up here. Pretty quiet it looks. Moved some bees today. Here's a swarm I transferred yesterday. Went and picked up. Oh. Here's the 2-frame cutouts. This was a cutout from the other day that had queen cells. I since moved them. I split that up and put them in these 2-framers. See what happens there. Had a lot of bees just stay on this pile of comb, because there still is some brood in there, but they'll make their way out of there. And I put some bees in this custom hive, which never had bees in it. I put a swarm in there. So we'll have to give that a gander one of these days. The other two were active. Had a monster swarm land on the wall right over here. We're going to go over there and take a look, see if they're still there or not. I had 2 boxes sitting there that the bees were not thrilled about moving into. That was a big swarm. Sometimes they're finicky when they have virgin queens. I know I had virgin queens in that swarm. It was just too big to not have virgin queens. So I got bees in this box, and they all moved into this box. So I managed to split that swarm up into 2. We'll see how that plays out. I'm going to move these tonight in the hopes that they orient themselves to a different location. I got another swarm box over here across another roof. I like to pretend I'm Batman up here, but nothing here. This is the wall of the bee deck, which is a mess. I gotta put that one back together. I got a couple here that I gotta mess with. And I'm sure this might have swarmed. But luckily we got all of our bees in boxes from these swarms. I'm expanding my enterprise this year with some more honey production, and that's what I was doing today. Nice property, upstate Pennsylvania. Although it's bear country up there, we're going to have to be mindful of that. Got to put up electric fence, and at some point in the future I'll do a video up there. But for right now we're back home. Almost all these are splits, and they're developing queens, and I'm not messing with them for probably for another week or so until we figure out how everything's going. It's been a long day, but that's the life of a beekeeper in the spring. A little bit longer a video, and let's go down and double check. Let's go down and double check the swarm. Sorry for the shaky camera work. I shouldn't be climbing a ladder with a phone. This is what I see as I'm going up and down this ladder. That's how I stay in shape. Up and down, 2-story ladder. So yeah, these bees, it looks like they're vacating this trap and have oriented to this here trap. And I think I want to do is get another bucket behind this. When that bucket stinks. And I'm going to slide this trap back a little bit so the bees underneath can get to the entryway. Let's see, I don't think I see the queen anywhere. I think she's in that box. And now the bees are moving up and into the box now that they can access it pretty easily. So that looks pretty good. Swarm catching, baby. Love it. Loving it. Cool. So we lost a couple hives today in transfer. They overheated. Unfortunately, never like to see a hive come to its end when it doesn't have to, but unfortunately that's the way it went today. Transported them 3 hours, and 2 of them just had way too many bees for not enough space. I thought I had enough space, thought I had enough ventilation, but 2 of the 4 didn't work out. So we're going to have to remedy that by taking some more up. I never like losing hives, especially when it comes in my own hand, but it does happen sometimes that we make mistakes and we end up losing bees, sadly, to unfortunate circumstances, but it's just the way it goes. I'm going to take a quick look at this. This was a split that I made. The bees were very light. They were very light when I made the split. I only left a medium on top, and honestly I don't think there's any chance that these are surviving, but ow, right between the fingers. They weren't happy with me when I opened it, so we're going to just close that up. I don't feel like getting stung anymore today. Alright, well, that's the end of this video. I had enough of bees today. A lot of bees, a lot of driving, and it's time to settle in, get cleaned up, and go for a ride. So later.